Welcome to this episode of Tech News While Driving on February 27th, 2016. I'm your host, Tony Hannity's. Let's go ahead and start the car and start driving. So as it is Saturday, there's really not a lot of tech news that's going on. So I want to talk about a couple of things, but there is one piece of tech news that I thought that was relevant for you guys. There was a video that Google Maps put out that was showing off in a 2-minute video the power of Google Maps. I mean, I think we can all agree that Google Maps is the de facto mapping program that the majority of us use, unless you're on Windows Phone. Then you're using I hope you're using Here Maps, because on Windows Phone, that is probably the best mapping program. Sorry, Bing. Just my own opinion, mind you, but I really do like Here Maps, which is also on Android and whatnot. But basically, going to my point, in the Google Maps video, in a split 2 seconds, people were noticing that the Nexus 6P that they were demoing and showing off with Google Maps did not have an app drawer. At the bottom of the phone, you had your photos, or rather, you had your phone, you had your contact list, you had your camera, the Chrome icon, I believe there's the messaging icon, but no icon for your app drawer. And this was very disconcerting to Android fans. I mean, the big thing between Android and, let's say, iOS is the fact that not every application is on your desktop. I mean, the concept of the desktop, very similar to Windows, if you will, is that you can customize the desktop, but not put everything that you have on your phone on the desktop. I mean, I guess with the iOS, you can hide certain applications in certain folders, but at the end of the day, it's still on your desktop. So, not really sure if this is kind of hinting toward how Google is implementing Android M. I personally don't think that the vast majority of Android people are going to be too keen on this, but at the same time, considering that the likes of Samsung and LG put their own overlay on top of it anyways, I don't think it's very many people are going to see this, but definitely the Android fan that gets the next Nexus, if it does have this lack of an app drawer implementation, they're not going to be too happy. So, yeah, we'll see. This is still early days. You know, Android M isn't on the vast majority of devices anyways, which brings me to my next point. I just had a conversation with a cousin of mine yesterday on Facebook, and he was saying that, you know, when is Marshmallow coming to my Galaxy Note 5? I just heard that it got over into Croatia and the Ukraine and Europe. When's it coming to my T-Mobile version? So I looked it up for him, and in fact, T-Mobile has already done a soak test, and they've already approved it for the Galaxy Note 5. But it still hasn't shown up on his phone. Now, this approval just happened, like maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So I explained to him, you know, just give it a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then if it still doesn't happen, maybe you can push the update through the T-Mobile website or through the Samsung website with the T-Mobile variant. I don't think, I get the reason why you want the latest update. Maybe you think it's going to fix something. Maybe there is a particular feature, like in Marshmallow, like Doze, that you feel that is very valuable and beneficial to the way that you use your phone. But here's the thing. If there is a delay and there's no update for your phone, don't fret. There quite possibly could be a very good reason as to why that update has not come to your phone. I mean, if we remember, about a year ago, the 5.1 update came way too early for the Droid X. Even on Verizon, in fact. Verizon was the first carrier to push out the update, and it screwed up a bunch of people's phones. Even Motorola contested that, or rather, they admitted it, that they rushed the update. They got it out to market quicker than anybody else, but it was not to their own benefit. So let these OEMs figure out how to best implement the update. And I get some certain carriers, and I'm going to call out Verizon. Certain carriers do take their time, as it seems, to push the update out. But you also have to understand the process of pushing out an update isn't just, hey, we got the update from Google, let's slap on our own stuff and then just push it out. There's a lot of things that need to work out. Plus, carrier testing for the update, that costs money. That costs a lot of money, thousands of dollars. And not that Verizon can't afford it, but from a budgetary standpoint, they have to look at everything regarding, is this app going to work? Is this app going to work? Is our visual voicemail going to work? Is our VZ Navigator going to work? And yes, I get it. You may or may not use those apps, but Verizon has them on there. And Verizon, from, in their infinite wisdom, they want to make sure the people that do use VZ Navigator and not use Google Maps, or do use the visual voicemail and other applications like that, they want to make sure those experiences are good. So it's not just about us Android fanboys who know how to circumvent certain things and just want the best of the best and the latest and greatest and tastiest. It's about the general public. It's not you. It's grandma. So yeah. So there's that fact. And then the last thing I want to talk about today, because again, it's not really a news day. It's the weekend. Everyone's off pretty much. And it's a lot of editorials that are going out, opinion pieces. But again, on Facebook, I had a friend, she's got an iPhone. She had some issue getting up to iOS 9.2, and then it finally got pushed through, and none of her pictures were actually deleted. And she claimed that she had over 14,000 photos on her phone. And then, of course, all of her friends on Facebook said, hey, you need to quit with that. So I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and agree with all of her friends. You need to quit with that. If you are listening to this and you look at your phone and you have over 1,000 photos, or in fact, even if you have over 500 photos on your phone, get them off your phone. Just get them off your phone. There is no viable reason for you to have that many photos on your phone. That is taking up valuable memory real estate for your phone, for whatever else, for app updates. Do you understand when you go into the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store, the Windows Phone Store, whatever the case may be, you have to have enough memory to upgrade the app. And if you don't, then you have to delete something. And it just makes sense to get those photos and videos off your phone, because you're not looking at those photos. There's very small portion of the world public that has all the photos of their life on their phone, and they need it on there. What other options do you have? Well, there's Google, obviously. If you have an Android device, you can use the Google Photos app and upload all your photos in standard resolution for free. It is unlimited. You don't have to worry about running out of room. And arguably, it's Google. And so maybe you have some reservations about that. Granted, fine. Use Facebook. Facebook has their own photo uploader. Arguably, it's Facebook. There might be some privacy concerns with that too. So then you have Flickr. Flickr gives you 1 terabyte. That's a ton of memory. 1 terabyte to upload your, I believe it is still high resolution photos. And then there's Microsoft with OneDrive. And then if you implement, the auto upload, they give you some more gigabytes as well too. Or if you have Office 365, you get 1 terabyte with them for high resolution photos and whatever else. So there's so many. And then of course you have your standard, just plug it into the computer and just download all your photos onto your computer. I understand that particular solution isn't viable for a lot of people because you've just got stuff to do. And for whatever reason, taking the 15 minutes that it takes to do that, it's just kind of hard to find the time. I get that. I really do. Because there are certain things for me, personally, that a 15-minute task is just hard for me to do because in my mind, I can't find the time to do it. Whatever. If you can't do that, find the solution of an auto upload that you can put your trust in. I'm okay with Google. Personally, I upload my photos to Google, to Flickr, to Facebook, and then, of course, OneDrive. And so of all those 4 solutions that I use, if they, for whatever reason, go bankrupt, if they change hands, we know Yahoo right now, it's looking like Yahoo might be sold off to somebody, maybe even Verizon. Yeah, like if anything like that were to ever happen, I have 3 other cloud storages where all those other duplicates are. So that's just my tidbit. That's my opinion on how you should back up your stuff. I mean, you could also NAS it, get a NAS or free NAS, or get something on your network at home to back up your stuff. 4 terabytes these days aren't a lot. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Real quick, Tony, shut up for a second. I just want to point out one thing. At a pre-Oscar party, sorry, Larry. At a pre-Oscar party, okay. At a pre-Oscar party, J.J. Abrams was asked, would the Star Wars universe ever have a gay character? And he said yes. He said, very confidently, he said yes. The Star Wars universe, when he talks about all the characters, he's not ignoring those folks in the gay community, or the GLBT community, or any community for whatever reason. And I think that although that question is valid, and I'm very happy with Abrams' answer, obviously, I think it is very interesting that we even have to ask that question. I mean, we have aliens with 2 heads that, for whatever reason, they have 1 soul, and then we have this one guy with the wings, and he flies, and he's and then we have these, well, let's call them what they are. They're very racist Nemoidians, or at least the accent is, and we have just so many people from supposedly so many different worlds. It's very narrow-minded to think that in none of these worlds would there be 2 species of the same gender that would fall in love with each other, or even a Corellian falling in love with the male, I don't know, Nemoidian, I guess. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And I guess there are some people in this world that are not a fan of any homosexuality whatsoever. And you know what? I guess that's fine. That's you be you. But I just think in the grand scheme of things, taking the stance that yes, there could be, I don't think he ever said will be, but there could be a homosexual person, didn't specifically say male or female, in the Star Wars universe. I think that's great, and more power to him. And so that's pretty much it. Back to the other part of the show. Thanks, Tony. Thanks a lot for watching today. Definitely like this video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if there's anything that you felt that we should have talked about today that was newsworthy, leave it in the comment section below. Also, I would love to have any feedback related to if you think that this is a viable option of me communicating the daily tech news to you guys. This is something that I personally enjoy, but it does get published kind of late at night after everybody else does the daily tech news. So whatever the case may be, I would definitely love to hear the feedback. I had a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, who said I move my hands too much. So, hey, Braz. No, I'm playing. Yeah, so shout out to Braz over at One Life to Play. To be perfectly honest with you guys, he's the one that actually created the bumpers, and the little logo in the left-hand corner that you see here, right here. Yeah, that thing. That's Braz. So thank you very much. Go check out his website, One Life to Play, and on Twitch, of course. And that's pretty much it. So we are gonna go be in traffic for a little bit, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.